Let's get started. So right now we are in unit 4, energy and momentum. Okay. And then we have already completed unit 1, unit 3, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, and some of the concept from unit 4 as well. So today we'll complete those 3 lessons: momentum, impulse, and conservation of momentum. Let's start with momentum. In this lesson, our goal is to define momentum and relate it to energy. And then in the beginning, we'll define momentum, and then we'll find the relationship between momentum and energy and solve the problems related to momentum. That is the goal of this lesson. So I just wanted to make sure that both of you are seeing my screen. If you are seeing my screen, give me a thumbs up, or you can just write yes, we are seeing on that chat. It says momentum. Let's move on. Thank you. Momentum is the quantity of motion of a moving body measured as a product of its mass and velocity. So that is the definition of momentum. So if the object of mass m moving with velocity v, then product of that mass and velocity is called momentum. And it is represented by the letter p and defined by this formula. So here p is momentum, m is mass, and v is velocity. Unit of momentum is kilogram meters per second. This is the unit of momentum, kilogram meter per second. And then momentum is a vector quantity since it takes both magnitude and direction into account. So it is a vector quantity. Momentum, I'll write. You can write that note in your notebook, is vector quantity. Vector quantity. And then all energy, kinetic potential energy is scalar quantity. We do have one question in your mastery test that is about momentum and energy. So we need to go through it. Energy is scalar quantity. Now let's go. Now in this slide, we'll relate moment and energy, momentum and energy. So we know that kinetic energy is defined as 1/2 times mass times velocity square. And momentum, we have just gone through momentum. Momentum is product of mass and velocity. We divide both sides of that equation by velocity, we'll get mass. So mass becomes momentum over velocity. And let's substitute that in kinetic energy equation. So it becomes kinetic energy is 1/2 times mass is your momentum over velocity and then b square. Now 1 b square is your b times b. So one of that b got cancelled. So kinetic energy is 1/2 times momentum times velocity. So in that way, we can relate kinetic energy and momentum. But we can find that relationship by another method as well. Kinetic energy is 1/2 mass as it is. We can rewrite velocity square as b times v. That's the same thing. And mass time velocity is momentum. That part is momentum. So it becomes 1/2 times momentum times velocity. So this is the relationship between kinetic energy and momentum. I'll pause here for some time. If you have any question, please let me know. Now let's work on the problem related to momentum and how can we calculate momentum, okay? And then also we'll work on some of the problems that is related to kinetic energy and momentum. Let's start with this problem. The question is, what is the momentum of 35 kilogram cart? That is the mass of the cart moving at a speed of 1.2 meters per second. So velocity B is your, I'll just write B is 1.2 meter per second, and we have to calculate momentum P. This question is straightforward, so I just want to make sure that you are following me. So I'll give you some time to work on this problem. But I'll write the formula to calculate momentum, okay? So momentum is product of mass and velocity. Use that information and try to solve that problem. Once you solve it, you can answer through the poll. And then if you actively participate in this class, take participation in polls, then you'll get extra points, and then I'll improve your score through unit activity or post test as well. Take your time and do it slowly, okay? Yep, that's correct. Thank you very much. Let me cross that window. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So momentum is mass times velocity. Mass is 35. And then velocity is 1.2. Multiply those together, you'll get 42. And unit is kilogram meters per second. So the correct choice is A. Let's move on. Most of you have already got this concept. Now this problem is exactly similar to the previous problem, but the only different is unit, okay? So here, let me read this problem. What is the momentum of a 76 kilogram hours mass running at a speed of 45 kilometer per hour? Velocity is 45 kilometer per hour. But if you check all the answer choices, you can see here meters per second. So that means we have to convert kilometer per hour to meters per second. Think about it. How can we convert? 45. 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. So we have to multiply 45 by 1000. And 1 hour is 3600 second, or 60 times 60, 3600 second. So that becomes meters per second. 0 got cancelled. It becomes 450 over 36 meter per second. And let me use my calculator. You can use Desmos or any other calculator, okay? So let me see, that is 12.5 meter per second. After that, we have to calculate momentum. P is your mass times velocity. Let's substitute those values. 76 times 12.5. If you use calculator, you'll get 950 kg meter per second. And if we write in scientific notation, that is 9.5 times 10 to the power 2 kg meter per second. So the correct choice is D, 9.5 times 10 to the power 2 kilogram meters per second. Now let's move on. Okay. So whenever we define momentum, at that time we define the concept of momentum and kinetic energy in terms of vector and scalar quantity. So based on that information, try to answer this question, okay? And then I'll again answer this question. Let me end polling and relaunch polling so that you can answer this question. You can answer through the poll, or you can just write in your chat box. I'll give you some time. Please make sure to read the question before you answer it, okay? Okay, all of you have answered it. So let me thank you. Let me cross that window. Thank you very much. Which statements best compare momentum and kinetic energy? And you have to compare it in terms of scalar and vector quantity. So momentum has both direction as well as magnitude. So this is a vector quantity. And energy, kinetic, potential, any type of energy only as a magnitude. So that means it is a scalar quantity. So the correct choice is momentum is a vector quantity and kinetic energy is a scalar quantity. B is the correct choice. Momentum vector, kinetic energy is a scalar quantity. Move on. The question is which statement best compares momentum and kinetic energy? And then you can see that in each of those choices, if you double the velocity of an object, kinetic energy doubles or either momentum doubles. So that means for each of the option, you have to assume that we have doubled the velocity of the object and calculate how momentum and kinetic energy will change. Momentum is P, mass times velocity. Kinetic energy is 1/2 times mass times velocity square. And then velocity becomes 2 times velocity, okay, new velocity. So use that information and then try to answer this question. Okay, we launch poll again. Take your time, do it slowly. Okay, let me in polling and then I'll go through this question. Thank you very much. So let's calculate the new momentum when we double the velocity. I'll write that P dash, mass and velocity is 2 times velocity. We double the velocity. So it becomes 2 times mass times velocity. 2 times P is your mass times velocity. That means momentum gets double. Now kinetic energy is 1/2 mass. Velocity, we double the velocity, twice v square. So it becomes 1/2 mass, 2 times 2 is your 4, and then b square. So that part you can see here. 1/2 mass times velocity square is kinetic energy, and then we do have 4. So it becomes 4 times kinetic energy. That means whenever we double the velocity of an object, momentum gets double and kinetic energy becomes quadruple or 4 times. So the correct choice is B. To double the velocity on object, the momentum doubles, 2 times doubles. But for the same increase in velocity, the kinetic energy increases 4 times, 4 times, 4 times kinetic energy. If you have any question about this problem, please let me know. And then if you understood this problem, please give me a thumbs up or any other reaction. Thank you. Now let's go through the definition of impulse, okay? Impulse. And then after that, we'll go to another lesson. The impulse momentum theorem states that impulse on an object after the collision is equal to the difference between the initial and final momentum of the object. That means the difference between initial and final momentum of the object is called impulse. And also impulse is the product of force of impact and the time interval in which that impact takes place. Yes. You can write that formula in your notebook. Impulse is your force times force of impact. I'll just write force and the time interval at which that impact takes place or collision takes place. I'll write time interval, and that is also equal to change in momentum. PF is final momentum, and then PI is initial momentum. In that way, we can calculate impulse. And impulse is a vector quantity, and its direction is along the direction of net force. And it is measured in Newton second because force is measured in Newton and time is measured in second, or in kilogram meter per second. That is the unit of momentum as well. So that is all about impulse. Let's move on. Now, let's start a new lesson, that is conservation of momentum. In this lesson, our goal is to solve a problem involving elastic as well as inelastic collision in one dimension using the conservation of momentum and energy. So we'll use the concept of conservation of momentum and energy and solve the problems related to elastic and inelastic collision. At first, we'll go through the law of conservation of momentum, and then we'll define inelastic as well as elastic collision, and then we'll solve some of the problems related to law of conservation of momentum as well as elastic and inelastic collision. That is the brief overview of this lesson. Let's start with law of conservation of momentum. Let's define what do we mean by law of conservation of momentum. According to the law of conservation of momentum, in the absence of external force, so if we do not have any external force, the momentum of the system is conserved in an interaction like collision. That means total initial momentum of the system is always equal to the total momentum after the collision. So let's look through this example. Let us suppose we do have two cars and then after certain times they collide to each other. And mass of the car 1 is m1, velocity is b1 that I stand for initial value, and for the car 2 mass is m2, velocity is initial velocity is b2. So according to the law of conservation of momentum, total momentum before collision should equal to total momentum after collision. So you can see here pi is your initial momentum or momentum before collision in this case, and final momentum. And then m1 b1 is momentum of the car 1 before collision. And then we'll add that to momentum of the collision of car 2 before collision. That is total initial momentum. And then final momentum is m1 mass of the car 1 times velocity of the car 1 after collision plus mass of car 2 times velocity of car 2 after the collision. In that way, we can use law of conservation of momentum when two objects collide to each other, two or more than two objects. I know this concept may be difficult. There are different letters here. You can see here with different subscript. So I just wanted to make sure that you are following me. If you have any question, let me know. And if you follow this concept, please give me a thumbs up or any other reaction. Now let's move on. Now let's define elastic and inelastic collision in one dimension and elastic collision in one dimension, sorry. In inelastic collision, the kinetic energy of the system is not conserved. So that means some of the kinetic energy is conserved, converted into other forms of energy. And then the kinetic energy is less than it was before collision because some of the energy will be converted into different forms of energy. But in elastic collision, momentum is conserved. Momentum is always conserved, either it is inelastic or elastic collision. So the inelastic collision, kinetic energy not conserved, all right? Energy is not conserved. You can write that one as well, and then momentum is conserved. Okay, now, but in elastic collision, both kinetic energy as well as momentum is conserved. And the kinetic energy of the system before the collision is equal to kinetic energy of the system after the collision. That means kinetic energy of the system before the collision, KEI, is equal to kinetic energy of the system after the collision. And almost all of the collision that takes place in our daily lives are the example of inelastic collision, because in those collision, some of the kinetic energy will be converted into different form of energy after the collision. Now let's work on some of the problems related to conservation of momentum and energy. At first, I'll read this question and then I'll give you some time to work on this problem. Bodies A and body B have equal mass. Body B initially at rest. That means its velocity is 0, kinetic energy is 0. Body A collides with body B in one-dimensional elastic collision. The collision is elastic. That means kinetic energy conserved. Which statement is true? Based on your understanding of based on your understanding of the elastic collision, try to answer this question. Okay, I'll give you some time and then I'll answer that question. Let me end polling and then I'll answer this question. Thank you very much for your participation. So let's start with option A. Body A comes to rest, body B start moving with initial velocity of body A. Let us suppose we are not sure about this option. Okay, let's skip it. The momentum of the system is not conserved. Wrong. This is incorrect choice because for each type of collision, momentum is conserved. Kinetic energy of the system is not conserved. Wrong. In elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved. Final velocity of body B is twice the initial velocity of body A. It does not make any sense. You can see here B is at rest and they both have same mass and object. If object A moves with certain velocity, it cannot transfer the velocity greater than its own velocity to body B. This one is also wrong. And body A comes to rest, body B start moving with initial velocity of body A. It makes sense because you know that kinetic energy needs to be conserved. So total initial kinetic energy is 1/2 mass times acceleration, velocity of object A plus 0 because B is at rest. Kinetic energy final is equal to, okay, we don't know, but it should be equal to that value. 1/2 mass of A, BA square. And to that happen, mass of A and mass of B is exactly same. So this one is, so BA should be equal to BB square. So that means body A comes to rest, body B start moving with initial velocity of body A. Please let me know if you have any question on this problem. Now let me go to the next question. The question is a car with a mass of 1.5 times 10 to the power 3 kilograms. So we do have a mass of a car traveling west at a velocity of 22 meters per second velocity. It hits a stationary car with a mass 9.0 times 10 to the power 2 kilograms. So we do have a mass, but its velocity is 0. Okay, mass, velocity is 0, stationary means 0. If the collision is inelastic, what is the final direction and approximate velocity of the two cars? So let us suppose B is the approximate velocity of the two cars. Okay, and then let me write that one. M1, B1I, and then this one M2, B2I. Okay, and then this is B. It's just like different subscript. Okay, so that we can distinguish initial and final velocity. Okay, let's calculate total initial momentum and calculate total final momentum. And then in inelastic collision, total momentum of the system is conserved. That means in total initial momentum is total final momentum. Okay. Okay, now total initial momentum is mass times velocity, m1 times v1I. Let me write that 1.5 times 10 to the power 3 times 22 plus, since it is stationary car, that means its velocity is 0. So mass times velocity is 0. That becomes 0 is equal to final momentum is m1. Both of the cars moves with the same velocity v. Mass m1 1.5 times 10 to the power 3 times velocity plus mass of the stationary car in the beginning was 9.0 times 10 to the power 2, but after the collision both of the cars move with velocity v, so multiply by v. Okay, now let's calculate that value. 22 times 1.5 is 22 plus 11 is, let me see, 33. Yeah, times 10 to the power 3 is equal to 1500 plus 900 is 2400 v. After that, divide both sides by 2400. Got cancel. So velocity is, let me check my answer here. Around, you will get around 13.75 meter per second. That is the velocity. If we round it, we'll get 14 meter per second is the velocity. And then direction, you can see here, a car of that mass moves, is traveling west. And then it hits a stationary car of that mass. So that means the velocity of both of the cars after the collision should be towards west. That means the correct choice is A. 14 meters per second to the west. I know this question is a little bit difficult, so let me pause here for some time and then please let me know if you did not follow it, because I know this is a little bit difficult, and if you understand all those steps, please give me a thumbs up or any other reaction. Okay, thank you very much. Now let's work on this problem. A small ball of mass 2 kilograms is moving at a velocity of 1.5 meters per second. It hits a larger stationary ball of mass 5 kilograms. So the larger ball is stationary, that means its velocity is 0. What is the kinetic energy of the system after the collision if the collision is elastic? So you can see here collision is elastic. That means kinetic energy is conserved. Kinetic energy initial is equal to kinetic energy final. And then we have to calculate the kinetic energy after the collision. That is kinetic energy final. Kinetic energy final, let me rewrite it, kinetic energy initial. That means total kinetic energy before the collision. And kinetic energy is 1/2 mass times velocity square. Let's find the total kinetic energy in the beginning, before the collision, okay? For a small ball, 1/2 mass is 2 kilogram. Velocity is 1.5 square plus it is a stationary ball of mass 5 kilograms. So in that case, 1/2 mass is 5. Stationary means velocity is 0 square. So this whole terms becomes 0. And then let's calculate that value. We'll get 2.25 joules. And that is the kinetic energy of the system after the collision. The correct choice is A. Correct choice is A. That is the 2.25 joules. Now let's complete at least one problem. And these are all the questions from your quiz or mastery test, okay? So once you follow it, you should be able to work on those problems. The question is a bumper car with a mass of 200 kilograms traveling at a velocity of 3.5 meter per second collide with a stationary bumper car with a mass of 250 kilograms. So that's velocity of that stationary bumper car is 0. If the two bumper cars stick and move together at a velocity of 2.3 meters per second, what is the kinetic energy of the system after the collision? So you have to calculate kinetic energy of the system after the collision. Kinetic energy, and then I'll write just after collision, or I'll write final, okay, final. Kinetic energy is 1/2 mass times velocity square. And then we have to calculate kinetic energy of the system after the collision. So 1/2 mass of the bumper car with mass of that. So mass is 200. Velocity means we are calculating after the collision, they both move with 2.3 meters per second velocity, 2.3 square. That's for first car, and another car is 1/2. Its mass is 250 kilograms, and they both move with same velocity, 2.3 meter per second square. After that, just simplify that value, each calculator, and you'll get around 1.2 times 10 to the power 3 joules. The correct choice is D. Correct choice is D. And in that way, you can solve this problem. Okay. So we only have around 1 minute. If you have any question, you can ask me, okay? Otherwise, you can leave this live session. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.